Hello, everybody. Hope you've been having a fantastic week. I'm really looking forward to this session. So my name is Nicole Connor and I'm the UK Community Lead, and I'm going to do about half an hour with you today, and we're just going to get started using Adobe Express. So if you've never used it before, you're in the right session. Delighted to have you here. Head over to the chat on the side and give me a little introduction. Tell me who you are, where you're coming from, so on and so forth. Always like to know where people are tuning in from. And let's get a little look at the resources for today. So if this is your first time attending one of our Adobe Creative Educator webinars, then what happens is you'll have a little ticker that goes along the bottom of the screen, like so, that shows you the web page that you're going to be able to take away from today, so that you don't have to take copious notes. You can just remember, like, oh, what was that activity that we did? It gives you the links to it as well, so you get everything in one little place. We're going to do one activity today with Adobe Express, so it's fantastic if you're able to get logged in, but if you can't get logged in, you will have access to this recording afterwards. It'll be on YouTube as well, so you can just keep a wee eye out for that. You can pause me at any time. You can't rewind, but you can pause, so if you need a little moment to catch up and you're just having so much fun creating different little things, just hit pause on the video and then play it again as well. In the chat, we could have some of our innovator friends or some people from our Adobe Creative Educator community. So they could be chatting away to you in the chat as well. So don't leave them hanging. Do give them a little comment back here and there, because they're there to help you. And if you have any questions, fire them into the chat. Alrighty, let's get started. So let's open up this training resource. So we've got adobe.ly/get started. Okay, let me get started and find that as well on my screen here. What I really like about these is, there we are. What I really like about these presentations is I just move over to my other screen and add this on. There we are. What I really like about these presentations is they're actually in a web page format, so that we can just take a little scroll down through it. So this is part 2. You didn't have to come to part 1. I just decided, instead of having a long 60-minute course that could cause a lot of overwhelm whenever it's your first time using Express, because there is so much that it can do, then it's probably good just to split this into 2 half-hour chunks. But what I really like about this then is that we have videos embedded and we have links in here as well. So it just makes it a bit easier rather than like a flat presentation. So what we're going to do is learn a little bit about the why of classroom creativity. And that's because being an Adobe Creative Educator is not just about being able to use Adobe tools. It's about baking in creative pedagogy into everything that you do. And sometimes that creative pedagogy can be with technology and sometimes it's without. Both are fantastic. We're going to have a little tour of Adobe Express. I'll be your tour guide for today, but I will show you where you can find a video that you could show to your colleagues or to anybody else, or just recap yourself about some of the tools that are available in Express. Then we're going to have a little look at some templates and projects that you could remix and that you could try out for yourself. And then we're going to use a guided activity. So we'll get hands-on creating a little action figure. But first, let's do that first part about the why of classroom creativity. So you can see there's a little button there that you could click to go peruse over the full report. But I'll just open up this image. All you have to do is click images to make them bigger. And look at the stats. The stats don't lie. 91% of educators noted that better learning happens whenever students tackle creative AI projects. And that's interesting, because we have a lot of conversations at the moment about generative AI and the impact that it's going to have on learning over time. And I think this is one then that reassures me that, you know, students, when it's meaningful and they're not being wasteful with generative AI and they're being very intentional about the purposes, they can only do that because of teachers. So teachers have to be able to be empowered in the knowledge and the skills to use generative AI so that it can deepen engagement and so that students are motivated to explore the impossible and the unknown. Boosting cognition, so that's a really big one as well. So we want those 4 C's is what I normally talk about: the creativity, creative thinking, critical thinking, collaboration, communication. Having all of those, and then this big one, resilience, is going to be incredibly important now for 2025 and beyond, or the 2020s and beyond, I should say, because it's massive. The amount of changes and accelerations that are happening in technology, that needs a lot of resilience. It facilitates complex problem solving. And I think, again, that I'm touching again on the thing of making learning more personal and meaningful. That's how we get children engaged and hooked on learning, because we know they need to be lifelong learners. We've needed to be lifelong learners to be able to keep up with the tech evolution. But also a lot of what society needs is people who can solve problems, and there are many complex problems to solve in the world. So I'm just going to click this little X to close down out of that little slide. And let's have a little look at the first activity. So the first activity is that we're going to go take a little tour around Adobe Express. Now, to do that, I'm actually going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to bring you over to Adobe Express. So I'm using Adobe Express for Education, which I hope you're using as well. If you're not using that version, you're going to be like, what is this that you're using, Nicole? This is a totally different app. And it could be. So this is the interface for Adobe Express for Education, and you'll know you're on the education version because in the top left corner it says Adobe Express for Education. Now you might have a slightly different aspect ratio than me, so if I was to zoom out, you might see this type of layout, like 4 tiles across, or you might be up close and personal with 2 tiles across, and that's the only real difference here. That's why I look out for the colours mostly, because depending on what screen and what device I'm using, I have a different layout on the homepage because it's dynamic and responsive to your screen size. One of the things to note here is that we have 2 tabs, Create and Edit. Teachers will be getting a Teach tab soon. You might already have it if Classrooms and things like that has been deployed in your area. But for right now, I only have access to Create and Edit. And Create brings you to all of those things that are the most popular that people do in Adobe Express. We've got generating an image, posters, videos. We've got guided activities, which we're going to do one today. We've got animate a character, which is just like the dreamiest little tool, where you can essentially do a voice recording and it will lip sync a cartoon character and move and animate. They love animating the eyebrows. They're quite like The Rock with the eyebrow animations. And it's fantastic for students who maybe don't like sharing their voice or their face on camera, but they could be very motivated to do it for a little animated character. Then we've got web pages and presentations, drawing, one of the most slept on tools in my opinion. I'm so glad that it has a tile on the homepage. Infographics, logos, and make QR codes. And those QR codes don't expire, which is great. So that's the Create tab. Flipping over to the Edit tab, then we kind of have all of those prerequisite skills for using some of the Adobe Creative Cloud Pro tools like Photoshop, Acrobat, Illustrator, so on and so forth. So we've got like removing a background, editing PDFs, very important, very popular as well. Changing out past papers or play scripts and things like that. Just upload the PDF and you can edit the text, remove pages, add in more. You can remove objects from an image. I had to do that recently. I was taking a photo of like a ship in a car park. I know it sounds interesting, but if there was a lamppost in the way, so I had to remove the lamppost. Brilliant. And then I used insert image to put waves where all the cars in the car park was instead. So yeah, really great little tool. And then you've got some other options here, like converting to PDF, combining and merging your files, and captioning videos. So there's quite a lot that you can do just from the tiles there, but you'll notice that they aren't the only buttons on your screen. You have a search bar up at the top where you can search for the amazing templates that are in Adobe Express for Education. So for example, let's search up a history timeline and boom. I get quite a few to choose from. Quite like this one. There we go. And I like that it gives, use generative AI to add an image to each key event. And I've got some instructions, I've got some examples as well. Brilliant. That fantastic activity. I think that one was designed by Emma McCafferty. Some of you might have met her before. And Tom Bolton, who used to be one of our ACE innovators, they came up with that one. And we've got some amazing timelines that you could choose from. And even if you were like, oh, I'm not teaching ancient Egypt, I'm teaching the Victorians, like you could take that and just customize it and change it all out. So that's what I love about the templates in here. Going down the left-hand side, what have we got? Well, we've got your stuff, which is essentially all your files and all your projects that you've created. Classrooms, not here yet. So when you click it, yeah, click it, it'll say coming soon. There we go. Activities. This is being localized soon, so you'll be able to see subjects that are specific to the UK here and age ranges. But at the moment, this is kind of like your drop-down space to go and get the best guided activities for a subject area, to go and see some amazing classroom templates and a few little videos. I'm actually going to come to those videos in the Learn tab. So this little light bulb, the Learn tab has, you see in the Get Started, we're doing a Get Started course right now. And these are essentially all the videos for getting started. This is the video I was saying about if you wanted to just play it for staff or for your colleagues in the staff room, a PD session that you're doing. When you click into it, it's just a little 4-minute video giving you a whistle-stop tour of everything in Adobe Express. Pretty much like what I just did there now, but much more better and much more edited, and got cool animations flowing through it, showing you different things. And and you also get a little preview of what's in the Teach tab whenever it comes to your account. So it's well worth having a little look at it. Then we've got brands, and we've already talked about templates. So that's kind of the homepage, a little tour of it. The last thing that I'll explain is in the top right corner, you have a help button. You have more apps and services. The notification bell will let you know when somebody has shared something with you. So because you can collaborate on a lot of the projects and files in Adobe Express, that's where the little notification comes in, so that you can hop into a project with someone. And then your profile picture in the top right, excuse me, friends, lets you know how many credits you have left. So the generative AI credits that you get in Adobe Express for Education, 250 a month. And what I really like about this is that that's just enough to do some meaningful AI literacy and prompt engineering practice with your students, but it's not too many that they could be wasteful with it, because I know that we're teaching, and in fact many of us are more environmentally conscious, and we're quite concerned about the amount of energy that AI produces and that it consumes. So stripping back the amount of credits that you have for education accounts is just one way that you can reassure students that they have enough, but not an unlimited amount. And then what we have in here as well, if you went into Manage Account, you'd be able to see what type of account you have. So if you didn't see some of the options that I had there, it's taken a while. That's not where I want to go. Settings. My bad. Settings. So I could change you could change your language around. So there's Welsh. You can have your interface in Welsh. I know that. There you go. Because Meredith is in Welsh. He's our education evangelist. And what else can you do? You can change your role. So if you're accidentally on a student version, you can click that you're an educator, and then you'll, whenever the Teach tab is available and things like that, you'll have an extra button in your account. So there's your homepage tour. Now let's get into a little activity. I think we're going to try out one of our guided activities, and you can see in this very first tile is a guided activity, and it's our monthly creative challenge. And the monthly creative challenge is there for our ACE leaders. Now that could be you at the end of this session. And you might be thinking, Nicole, no, I'm not a leader of anything to do with Adobe just yet. That's not what it's about. It's about the leadership mindset and wanting to lead creativity. Again, that can happen in lots of different ways. You could be leading creativity in your class. You could be leading creativity for a year group, for the whole school. You could be leading creativity online. Maybe you have a blog or social media platforms that you post creative concepts on. Or perhaps you're just someone that goes and attends lots of events and cherry picks ideas and, come and brings them back to one teacher. You just tell one other person about something you've learned. Maybe you're going to tell one other person about something you learned today. Then you're being a creative leader. And this monthly creative challenge is for everybody, but our creative leaders, or ACE leaders, get to submit a little form every month to say that they took part in it, send a little photo of their version, and then they put it into a draw for some swag. So the swag will either be for you or for your students. It mixes up and it's different every time. So you could get swag every single month, depending on how many people enter it. So it's a really great little incentive for getting creative. This does change every month. So you might have a different one sitting right there on your home screen, and that's absolutely fine. And you might have a different one depending on your location, because what the US team might have on their accounts versus to what a Scottish teacher has on their account versus a Welsh teacher, so on and so forth. There might be some slight nuances and changes. So, but it will change every month. But fear not, if you don't see it and you're like, oh, I really love that activity that I saw one time, you can go into this little button, try fun guided activities or guided activities with instructions, whatever it's called on your screen. And you can just scroll down and you'll find all of the guided activities in here, and there are more being added every month. So let's find the action figure one. Okay, so just taking a little scroll down my screen and boom, got it. Right here, design an action figure. Well, remember, you can pause me if you need a little moment to find this action figure before I move on. And do let me know in the chat if you were able to find it. Okay, so I'll just repeat that step. From the home page, we're clicking the teal tile for try fun guide activities. And again, you can scroll down, keep finding it. If your screen looked like this, 2x2, then scroll down and you'll find it. And then take a little scroll until you find the action figure. Here it is. And in we go. Just click it to enter it. Now, what a guided activity has is instructions down the side, and these instructions mean that you don't need to be an expert in all of the tools within Adobe Express, because the tutorial and the step-by-step instructions underneath it will guide your students on what to do. Okay, that's just perfect. And you can choose to make the video full screen so that everybody can see it as a maybe class teaching tool, or you can pop it out and just drag it over to the side, or you can just follow the instructions here. And what I really like about that is it's almost a way for your students to have multiple means of engagement. So we know that's really important for Universal Design for Learning principles, and they can have multiple ways that they engage with the content: video, visual pictures, or text instructions step by step. And then they're going to get to put their creative stamp on this project right now. So let's have a little go at it. The first thing it says is double click the text box to select and edit the text. So double click. And my name is Nicole, so I'm going to type that in. And so the first thing that and I love that my name does this, because if I had an equally short name, I would never remember to show you this skill. My text is essentially too large now to fit all in one line. So what I can do is go over to the left-hand side here and just shrink it down. Just shrink it down, decrease that font size until it fits neatly. I could also drag the corner handles of the text box to shrink it as well. Done. You'll also notice right here is where you could change the fill, so you could change the color of that writing if you wanted to. I'm just going to scroll down to the second instruction, because I'm one of those people, I follow the instructions first and then I go back on top of it and put my creative stamp on. So the next thing says click the image to open the image panel and select generate image. Okay, so let's click this image, and I know I've clicked it because I've got the blue lines the whole way around. And then I'm going to click generate image. And I can see the prompt that the designer used in here. And what I'm going to do is everything that's in brackets, I'm going to replace if I need to. So, well, female cute doll suits with blue eyes. Oh, I'm shouting capitals. With blue eyes and chin length, shoulder length, brown hair. The doll has big, I think I already said blue eyes up there. Big blue eyes and a black shirt and, well, yeah, there was black jeans, but let's say black and red shirt and black jeans with red shoes. Well, I don't have red shoes, white shoes. White shoes and pink glasses, no glasses, but I do like wearing sunglasses sometimes on my head as a headband. The doll is holding a soccer ball. No, the doll is holding a, what could I be holding? I'll go on, I'll hold a bunch of flowers. Style is bobblehead, big head, small body, plain background. Great, I'm happy with that. So let's just click generate and see what we get. If I scroll down, you'll see that I'm going to get 4 results. So Firefly is the AI engine powering Adobe Express's generative AI tools, and it will give me 4 results, and I can choose which one I like best, or if I don't like it, oh, they're fab. If I don't like, I think I like this one best. If I don't like any of them, I can scroll back up and I can change my prompt. But do note, every time you click the generate button, that uses 1 credit. Okay. Those credits that we talked about that you can track in the top right corner. Oh, and so does generate more. That uses 1, and I accidentally clicked it. So we've got, I mean, that's a pretty cool jacket that my character's rocking. I quite like this one as well. I do have white sunglasses like that. Let me see, I like this one. Oh, you see, this is, oh, they're so cute. Right, I'm going to stick with this one and move on to the next step. Do pause if you want more time now to explore your options. So it says digital art. I think it was digital art already, wasn't it? Graphic, digital art. Oh, maybe not. Ah, there's me not going to the options. Graphic and digital art. Okay, let me generate that because I have to obey the rules and the instructions that are provided and see which ones I have now. And you can customize your image by uploading a reference image. So what that means is if you had not a photograph of yourself, because I wouldn't recommend uploading any photographs of children or yourself in here. Aw, cute. But if you had an image of like maybe it's something that you've drawn before and you were like, oh, I really want it in this shape, then that's a composition that you would do. So for example, this composition has 3 eggs on top of each other, but the prompt up here would have been raspberry flavored ice cream scoops or strawberry. You can debate that in the comments. So if you have seen this done really well with like Lego, so like children have maybe created like a Lego house and they've put that in, they've uploaded that here as their composition image, and then their prompt up there is like a futuristic neon house with glass pillars and da 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 da, and then they get a really cool option, but it's shaped like their Lego house, so it really just follows the composition. And then the style is where you put in an image that you want to replicate the same style and color scheme as. So the prompt for this one would have been a cup of tea, and this image of the lady on the left was uploaded as a style reference, and then the cup of tea was generated in the similar style, and I think it got it pretty accurate. So that's what those 2 options mean. But just from a responsible generative AI point of view, I wouldn't recommend uploading a photograph of yourself or of peers in here. No matter how safe AI tools are, the responsibility part comes down to both the creator of the tool and also the user of the tool. So please just be safe with your personal information, which does include your image. And there we go. We've done now that first bit. So now it's time just to go and tidy up the rest of it. So I'm just going to X off my Learn tab here, so I have a bit more space on my screen. If you do need to bring it back, just click the light bulb. And I'm just going to edit the text now that's around here. So just double click the text boxes. I'm going to say, I'll keep in the shouty mode. Former teacher, used to teach primary 3, primary 7, primary 5. Never taught foundation stage apart from when I was on placement. Boom. So I'm just going through, like that should change that out. And you know what, I might change something else and just go, you know, all together and just be like limited edition. And because I know how to shrink my text boxes down, I can bring it across like that. So just because it says the year in there doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You can totally remix it, do whatever you want for that. And maybe down here I would do like the price of the doll, you know, $10.99 while stocks last. You know, you change it around whatever way you need for your students, for the context that you're doing this in. I could just make that larger just by highlighting that bit of the text. And you know what? Pretty happy with that. That will do me rightly. Now, what I can do is I can click up at the top and I can rename this. So I can say Nicole action figure. And oh, I've already got something called that apparently. NOC action. There we go. I can download my work. I could download it as a PDF, a PNG. If I had animations on this, video options would come up. And I can also share it. So sometimes we don't want to take up all the storage space by downloading things to our device. So, excuse me. Gee, bless me. Bless me again. So the view only link comes in handy. And that essentially gives people an unlisted link to find your, to open and view your project. They'll not find it on page 40 of a search engine. You just create a link and you would share that link with others. So that is the end of that little activity. So what I'm going to do now is just going to bring you to the final stages of our session today. The activity 2 is to go and add some voiceovers. So actually I'm going to X that off because there's me not paying attention to the ticker that's on the bottom of the screen. So to add a voiceover, we would go to media and then we would go to videos or audio. You've got options in both. So in videos, I could record myself and put a video of myself in there. I could do that animate character if you're on a browser. If you're on iPad, you don't have that button there, unfortunately. But if you're on the audio tab, then you have record a voiceover. And you literally just click it, record. It might ask for permission to use your microphone. Give it that. And then if you're in a noisy room, put on enhanced speech and it will take out the background noise, which is fantastic. So we just click start recording. Hi, this is Nicole, a former teacher, tech user, community lover, and a big thinker. You definitely want to get this doll now, limited edition for $10.99. Finished recording. And you'll notice this scene, it automatically created a timeline. So it turned this into a video immediately. And the first little image, this first part, only lasted 5 seconds. So it automatically added in an extra scene for me. But I don't want that extra scene. I just want to stretch this one out to be as long as, whoa, there's me dragging it away, to be as long as my voiceover. And then I can delete this little clip. So to delete this clip, you can either use the delete or backspace buttons on your keyboard, or the 3 wee dots, as I like to call them, and delete. So I can scrub my playhead through and have a little listen. And I'm happy with that. And you could go and try out some animations now. So you've got lots of other buttons around your screen. If you have time to give right now, because I know we're going to wrap up in a little minute, but if there's just 2 little extra things you wanted to try out, I would go to theme and I would go to add animation and see if you can just sprinkle a little extra creativity onto your action figure here. Okay, let's wrap up and make sure you get your badge for attending today's session. So I'll put up a little ticker for this one. It's very straightforward. There's just a few buttons for you to, oh, I've got it on the whole time. There's my bad. I thought I had this one on the whole time. So you've just been getting your badge the whole time. So the badge, ACE badge, the capital ACEB, is actually quite important so that you get to the right landing page. And you just basically click 4 buttons. So you click enroll now, click the name of the course, then click next, and your screen rains down with confetti, and you will then have your badge sent to your email. So it'll be sent for you to go to Credly and to snap that up and add your certificate into your TPL or your CPD folder, so on and so forth. So that's for your badge. Your resources then, I'll put that back up again just so that you have a little moment to grab it. As I realized I had the wrong ticker on today. I was too busy looking at my screen. And And then, oh yeah, I must tell you about ACE leaders. So let me come back to this screen. Let me say goodbye to this one and come back over here to you. Okay, so the ACE leader pathway exists for teachers who just want to learn a little bit more. So if you want to learn some Adobe Express skills each month, you want to get, if you can't attend the monthly call, you just want to get the email update from me, then you can sign up to be an ACE leader, and it takes about 30 seconds to sign up. All you have to do is fill in a little form with your contact details. So that's at the bottom of your screen now. And that gives you access then to our competitions where you can win swag for you or your pupils. And it gets you access to training materials if you have to go and lead some staff training, or you want to just, study in your own time, lifelong learners, that we are, then that is, you get a toolkit with leadership resources and also with training resources. I hope you come to some of my other ACE trainings. So I do them weekly, adobe.ly/ACE training, and everything else that you could possibly want from our team, including live lessons, and they happen weekly with the amazing Dom and Meredith. Go to Express Links and you can sign up for that. You can read our case studies. You can find ebooks for England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, 45 lessons, all mapped to your curriculum on that link there. There's plenty to get you started. You can reach out to our team. Our contact details are also on that link. So do get in touch. I hope you have an amazing time getting creative with Adobe Express. Bye.